I'm at the AT Trailhead near Linden, Virginia. That road out there is Tucker's Lane, Route 725. And this is the parking lot for the Trailhead. There's my little red car. I got company today. There's a stray dog. There's the AT Trailhead. I'm going to, last week I hiked north. I'm going to hike south, which is this way, and I'll be going under I-66 and across Route 55 and then heading up into the mountains, heading to the south on the Appalachian Trail. The elevation here is 825. Three-tenths of a mile into my hike. Elevation here is 820, and I'm getting ready to cross the Norfolk Southern rail line. This is a active rail line that runs from Front Royal and Strasburg this way to Gainesville. And there's the Appalachian Trail on the other side of the tracks. So let's keep on climbing the mountain. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 1,080 feet. Still climbing up out of MANASSAS Gap. It's pretty steep here. That's where I came from. And when you get up to this point, there's a split in the trail. And there's some trail, I don't know what trail it is, heads off to the right. No blazing. So you want to go to the left. That little tree there in the middle of the screen's got the white blaze on it. So when you get to the split, go to the left and keep climbing the mountain. Well, I couldn't stand it. I had to come over here to the right and see what was up this way, and there's a nice little campsite up here. Check it out. There's a log to sit on and a little fire ring, and I see a trace of a trail that heads down that way. It probably goes down to that creek and for water. So nice little spot. I'll mark it on my GPS. Just uphill from the camping spot I showed you is this left turn. It's an old trace of a road here that used to go somewhere. From reading some of the old documents, I believe there was an orchard up here by the name of Piedmont Orchards. So maybe this old road went up to the orchard once upon a time. But for now, we're going to keep climbing the mountain here on the AT. 1.4 miles into my hike. I'm up to 1,400 feet, and I just walked out into this meadow. I'm up on the saddle of this mountain. There's where I came from, up from MANASSAS Gap. And like I said earlier, this area up here used to be an orchard by the name of Piedmont Orchard. In fact, one of the roads coming up this way is called Piedmont Orchard Road. I thought about taking a side trip over this way, about a half a mile, to see if I can find a survey benchmark from the 1950s, but it's extremely overgrown, so I'm going to cancel that. So I'm just going to keep going straight until we get to the shelter. It's about another mile and a half. Okay, well, at the south end of the open meadow is this nice bench. You can sit on either side of it. And I'm going to continue hiking south this way to the Jim and Molly Denton Shelter. .3 miles into my hike. I've been descending for quite a ways. I'm down to 1,060 feet. And that's where I came from, over there where that car's parked. And when you're hiking south like I am, when you get to that spot, you turn left and you come down this road. And look for that sign right there that says Appalachian Trail, and then you head back into the woods this way. .3 miles into my hike. I'm up to 1,300 feet. And here's the turnoff for the Jim and Molly Denton Shelter. So this is my destination today. It's been mostly uphill. This little section, that's where I came from. That little section happens to be flat, but I'm going to turn off here, and the sign says the spring is up this way. I don't know, I may or may not go up there. I'm pretty beat. It's uphill most of the way, so if you hike from MANASSAS Gap, it's about 3.3 miles, and it's uphill most of the way. So let's go down a little spur trail and see what the shelter looks like. I was here about 10 years ago, and it was really nice. Okay, here's the Jim and Molly Denton Shelter. That structure on the left is the shelter. It's got a little porch, some Adirondack chairs. Over here is a separate pavilion for cooking and eating. And so I'll wander around, take a few pictures. There's a shower behind the shelter there. I'll show you a picture of that. So, but you can see it's real nice. It's almost got like a yard here. Look at this. It's all been cut. Real nice looking. Here's the inside of the shelter. It's got two sleeping levels. This lower level down here, and on the left and right sides there's a upper level. Pretty nice. Lots of wooden pegs back there for people to hang their packs on. And then here's the front porch. When you first step up onto the porch, there's even a metal grating here that you can scrape the mud off your boots, and then the mud drops down below there. Pretty cool. Over here to the side, we got horseshoes. There's the stake, horseshoe laying there. There's the pit on the other end. A couple horseshoes. I see 3 horseshoes laying there. And there's number 4 there. So we got horseshoes. Here's the bear pole where you can hang your food. Uh-oh, looks like somebody left a whole bunch of stuff here. Holy cow, they're going to miss that stuff. Okay, back here's the shower. I'll get some pictures from the other side. And then the trail goes a little further over there to the stream that feeds this uphill. So okay, here's the front of it, I guess. You got a little table there you can set your clothes on. Just strip down to your birthday suit, and there's a garden hose with a spritzer on it, and then the water drains down from gravity. Pretty cool. Four miles into my hike, I'm on my way back to my car now. The elevation here is 1,240 feet, and I just thought I'd stop here to show you. Here's the Appalachian Trail, and they dismantled part of a stacked stone wall to pass through here. There's the wall. Whoops. It's pretty hard to see. It's covered up, but it goes on back in there as far as I can see. So, and here's part of the other side over here. So, part of another old stacked stone wall. .6 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 1080, and I just walked out of the woods. This is a rural road. I think it's called Route 638. You come out of the woods there and come around the bend here and look for this white blazing right here. And the AT takes you, this takes us up into what was once the Piedmont Orchard and the meadow, open meadows up here. And over here is some old gates with stone posts. And I would guess that these were gates to let people into what once was the orchard up here. But right now these gates don't go to anything. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Linden, 1994, and I hiked a section of the Appalachian Trail to the Jim and Molly Denton Shelter. Here's Linden, Virginia right here, and this double line is Interstate 66. And there's two places you can park for this hike. One of them is, and well, this line right here is Route 55, the old road. You can park here. There's a little pull-off parking space for 4 or 5 cars on the south side of Route 55. Or you can turn right on Tucker's Lane here and go up under Interstate 66 and park over here. There's a AT Trailhead parking, a large parking lot here. That's where I parked, same spot as last week. Now this is the approximate route. The Appalachian Trail isn't really shown on this map, so I just drew it in approximately. So you start here, you end up crossing over Goose Creek, the headwaters of Goose Creek, and then the Norfolk Southern rail line, and then you go into the woods and you just climb. This is basically an uphill climb the entire way. When you get up to about here, you will walk out into a large open meadow, and this is near the peak elevation of the hike. Then you'll drop back down again, cross over a road, and then back up again. And you just continue following the AT to about there, and that's where the shelter is. So I hiked up to the shelter. Now this is one of the nicest shelters along the Appalachian Trail in Virginia, my opinion, and hopefully you can see that from the pictures I took. There's the shelter itself, which is in very good condition. There's a separate cooking pavilion, covered cooking pavilion, and a horseshoe pit, and around back there's a spring-fed shower. So pretty nice place to stop off. Then I just basically hiked back to my car. Now, one thing, let me call your attention to this. That triangle there says Piedmont. That is a USGS survey benchmark. It was put up there in 1957. I looked up the data on it. And on my way up, I was going to take a side trip over here, but this whole area is extremely overgrown, so I canceled that part of my trip. I might go back sometime in the winter and bushwhack over here and see if I can find it. This whole area up in through here used to be an orchard, and it went by the name of Piedmont Orchards, and I'm pretty sure that's where they got the name for the survey benchmark. This hike was fairly strenuous. It's up and down several times, so you gain elevation, then you have to turn around and lose it to get down to cross a stream or a road. Ended up being 6.8 miles. It took me almost 5 hours. Now I spent about a half an hour at the shelter, so but by the time you get up there, you'll probably need a rest if you're like me. And a decent amount of ascent, 1,539 feet. So pretty nice hike. One thing I'll point out, and maybe I'll do it this winter, is if you continue hiking along the AT to the south, you'll eventually come to the site of the former site of the MOSBY'S shelter, which was a shelter that was put up here, I believe, before this one went in. So if you continue hiking this way, you can find the site of the old MOSBY'S shelter. The only thing there now is a spring, and of course the site where the shelter used to be. The shelter's been taken down. So that's another possible hike in this area. And that was the hike for today.